Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the channel and welcome to my Dwarf Fortress Quicky series. In this series I'm going to discuss a few of the key zones and areas that you need for a beginning fortress, what they are and how you go about building them. And in this episode I'm going to talk to you about hospitals, and since it is a quickie, my 5 minutes starts now. Okay, for this video, we just want you to focus on this area here that's designated with the this medical symbol. This is my hospital. Now I'm going to delete it. Okay, what is a hospital? A hospital is an area where your injured dwarves go to get a diagnosis, firstly, so they can get adequate treatment for whatever their wounds are. If their wounds are not diagnosed, they cannot get treatment. That's a hospital. What do you need for a hospital? In this hospital, I have 2 3x3 areas. It can be any size you want, but I do 3x3. And these are my surgeries. And this is adequate for a beginning fortress. And in that surgery, I have a table and a traction bench. Traction benches are made at the mechanics with a stone block, a rope, and a mechanism. Tables are just made at your stonemasons. And traction benches are used to set bones, and tables are used to with gypsum plaster on your traction bench to set bones, and tables are used for surgeries. If you have quite a few injured dwarves, these can get full of blood splatters and can get quite messy. But this is where all the action happens. Then I have a 3x3 area with 4 beds, and this is where dwarves, once treated, go to rest and recuperate. Dwarves resting and recuperating in these areas cannot drink alcohol, they can only drink water. And water is accessed via a well. How to do that is outside the scope of this video, but you do need access to fresh water. And the staff that you've allocated to your hospital will get buckets from the storage area, fill them up at the well, and then give it to the dwarves. They will also use the buckets with water to clean up the mess in the surgeries and elsewhere. Another thing you need is another area for storing of your medical equipment. All you need for a beginning fortress is really one chest. As it gets bigger, you might need more. And in this hospital, I have a 3x3 office where my chief medical dwarf hangs out and does his chief medical dwarf business. And in here I just have a rock throne, could be a wooden chair, a table, a chest, and a cabinet. Great. What do we do? So, click on zones, press Z or the green dwarf's head. Office first, if you were putting your chief medical dwarf's office as part of the hospital. You don't have to, it can be anywhere. And then I click on this plus dwarf face, and I will allocate a chief medical dwarf. If this is your first hospital, you won't have someone saying chief medical dwarf here. I've already allocated him, so he's just got chief medical dwarf. And I would recommend, if you're watching the Perfect Start series, especially part 1 where we build the A team, your doctor with the good diagnosis skill should be chief medical dwarf, and you plus on him. Then we press the zone again, and then we go meeting area. And we cover that whole area that you want to be the hospital. We go accept. Then we click on the plus, and you will go new hospital. In this case, I've already built a hospital, and I will click on the fenced house, which was the random name my hospital was given. And this list here is essentially all of the meeting areas that you've converted into one of these 5 buttons up the top. So for me, I will click on that, you go new hospital. Next thing we do is this magnifying glass. Click on that, and this is where we allocate dwarves to be doctors, diagnosticians, surgeons, bone doctors, etc. And your chief medical dwarf, if you're using the A team, as I did in the part 1 of the Perfect Start, allocate your chief medical dwarf as your diagnostician. Everyone else has to be a different dwarf. You can't have the same dwarf doing all the jobs. It's just too much to ask for. So in this case, my bone doctor is a fisher dwarf, and my surgeon, I think, is a carpenter. Awesome. And then here we set what we need for the equipment, and this is all we need. You will start with splints and crutches. You can trade for thread and cloth. You can make it yourself. Powder for casts is gypsum powder. Buckets you can make out of wood at your carpenter, and soap is something that you need to make through a whole nother process. And again, up here you got the 3 buttons: all visitors welcome, citizens, and citizens only. And that is it. I hope you enjoyed the video and this helps you with your hospital requirements. I've gone a little bit over 5 minutes. I'm sorry. It's now 5 minutes and 16 seconds. But hope this keeps you out of trouble and you're having a great day and you're enjoying your Dwarf Fortress gameplay. I'll talk to you in the next video.